Hello and welcome back to Retro Boardgamer. Today we're going to look at a brand new game, the Towers of Arkhanos. Now I got the opportunity to play this game when it was still in pre-production, and they've made a few changes which I highly support and make it a lot easier for a guy like me to play. One of the first changes they did is you get meeples, and there's regular meeples and then there's one captain. And the original game in pre-production, the meeples all looked like this except the captain was painted on one side, and it made it really hard to determine whether or not you had a captain out when you were looking at the board, if you were looking from the back side or if you had many layers to your towers. You couldn't tell. So they redid the captain and they've put a different head on him. It looks like a wizard's hat and a star in the center so that you can see from any direction that that's your captain. And that's important because captains count for 2 meeples and a regular meeple only counts for 1. And when you're doing your layers of your towers, how many meeples you have there determines who gets the most points. The other thing they changed is the dice. The original dice were all very close to each other in color, and the new ones, we'll put some out here, are all very different in color. On the original box I had a really hard time with the red and purple, and I have no problems now determining which is red and which is purple, and the blue and the yellow. You know, those were the big changes they made, and I really appreciate it. So let's get into how the game plays and why I like it so much. Arkhanos is a dice placement game. We'll just kind of do a quick run through on Arkhanos. We're going to do a 2-player game. We have the green players and the red. First thing you do is you have the 4 starting. And if you look, they all have purple on their centers. And you pick one of them, and you take the other 3 and put them to the side, and the outside ones you flip over. The theme of the game is that you are schools of magic that are trying to build the most powerful magical towers. And you work with the other groups and against the other groups to make yours the most powerful. So the first thing we do is, because I'm a 2-player game, is I grab 3 dice. I reach into the bag, I don't look, I find 3 dice, and I roll them. So I have purple and yellow. On this card, I can only play purple dice, and I can only play them if they are 1, 3, or a 5. On this card, I can only play yellow dice, and if there are 2, 4, or 6. And you can use each number more than once, it just has to be one of those 3 numbers. On this one, I can only play blue dice. Unfortunately, I don't have any blue dice this roll, and that's where the center comes in, because on the center, you can play any color, any number. It doesn't matter. So we'll say I was the green player, and he's looking, and he can actually play the yellow. So he's going to play the yellow die. He's going to play it in this meeple spot, and he gets 2 points for that. So he collects his 2 points. And whenever you place a dice, you have to place a meeple with it. Now this was my captain, so he has 2 points to the control of that level of the tower. Now the red player, he doesn't have any options. The 2s cannot be played on the purple. He doesn't have blue dice, so he has to play here. Now the way the center works is you play a meeple, and you get a magic power based on the number. So that's a 2, so he gets the number 2 magic power, which is shift. He can treat a die placing as 1 number higher or lower than the number on the die. So he then can take a meeple and he puts them on number 2. So now he has that power for later on. And what happens next is what I really enjoy in this game, is you build a tower. The captains leave because the dice are there to hold their spots, and you place a level on top. And that's how you play the game. You just build the towers up and up, going round by round. That is Towers of Arkhanos. I highly recommend it. I give it my Retro Boardgamer seal of approval. Colors are all very vibrant and very different, so I don't have the colorblind issues. They really thought this game through. It is available through IDW Games. It was originally a Kickstarter. IDW then bought the license agreement for it and have just recently started producing it. So this will probably be the last Retro Boardgamer for the month. They might do one at the end of the month. We have a lot of changes going on in our family right now, and we got to kind of focus on that stuff. But once everything calms down and gets back together, we will have another show for you. In the meantime, keep playing games, keep having fun.